I have to do it digitally. So what's happened over the last 6 months is that there is, and this is a cliched word, I don't like using it, but for the benefit of this meeting, it's the new normal, right? So the distributor, the advisor, and the manufacturer's interaction with the distributor advisor has completely moved remote, right? And we launched an NFO a month ago, a new product launch, which was completely remotely managed and launched, right? Whether it's at our end, the manufacturing end, the engagement of the distributors. We spoke to over 20,000 distributors in a matter of 2 weeks. We collected money from over 500,000 customers. 65% of that were completely digitally driven. So I think all of this we now know is possible in a 100% digital world, right? So to your question, Nandita, the last 6 months has been a proof of concept of sorts that you can achieve all of this digitally, and consequently there are significant cost efficiencies that come in, right? So to give you an example, at peak we used to print 1 million forms during a product launch. 1 million forms a product launch. I used to print over close to 2.5 3 million collaterals outside the application forms. Guess what? This time I printed only 100,000 of everything, right? So from 3 million down to 1 lakh. So there was no demand for physical collaterals at all completely. So that obviously is direct cost savings as far as we are concerned, right? So those sort of cost efficiencies come in. Distributors love it because their ability, the cost of sell, right? The cost of selling to a customer has also come down significantly because he doesn't need to take his car, bike, go and meet people, the time spent. He can do 3 to 4 calls a day. My sales team's productivity has also gone up, right? Otherwise, he's got in a city like Bombay, he can probably do 3 to 4 calls in a day at max. Today, he's sitting at home using Teams, Hangout, Zoom, whatever it is, or WhatsApp calls. He's able to connect and make many more calls, 2.5, 3 times the number of calls that he would ideally make on a normal day, right? So productivity has gone up, dramatically. So I think these are some of the benefits that we have seen over the last 6 months. So I would really look at it as a proof of concept that has been fairly successful.
Right. Yeah.
Right, Ajit. Karan, do you want to say? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I shared a bit on what we did. Similar to I think Sundaram. So our business also has when you look at the funnel, there is a sales process that happens where the stuff is explained, and then yes, that involves visiting the customer's premises, talking them through, giving the collateral, then following up. We always wanted to improve our unit economics by making these things as much digital as possible. So we piloted with video sales system. Yes, there were a couple of issues internally. People getting used to the whole Zoom and the Google Meets model, data not being there, not being at the right place. But what we've seen is that there have been a couple of insights that if sorted, then it's actually a viable model. And for us also, we've seen a similar amount of productivity increase for the sales team on the ground. The travel time, and then the travel cost associated. Also the serviceability. So a lot of times we were not able to give meeting on the same day because of the sheer constraint. And there was always a problem in scaling, right? Because especially when you are in a hyper growth setup, the projection of how many people we need next month is always a challenge, right? Because a lot of times, most of the time, actually, it happens that we grow faster than we anticipated, and then we are not able to fulfill certain sales meetings. So that's a good problem to have. So with the increased productivity, more meetings, and then changing the collateral and digitizing it. So we have created stuff which can be shared and is now optimized for a mobile screen or a laptop. And which was earlier conceptualized to be a print collateral. Also, what we had seen was that, especially the kind of TG we cater to, I mean, the large segment of that, the financial literacy is not very high. And overall literacy is also not very high. So when they see something which has a lot of information, text written, they don't want to read. And they end up, sometimes not making, completely 100% sure decisions.
Right. Is that why also another reason, Karan, and even for Ajit, why digital untouched, because you have to, a lot of times, even for companies like Rupeek and Sundaram Mutual, consumers don't complete the full purchase funnel up to the end without a conversation. So do you think it's because they don't trust the platforms, or because on a Paytm or online, like some of the banks, they do get a lot of like direct customers, but for standalone brands, where is that gap? Why are consumers not completing the cycle online?
Right. So, see, I can talk about us. See, being a new brand, number one, and we have recently started, taking some big actions on the branding side. I mean, I won't say big right now, but yeah, relatively big than what we were doing, because we were very performance focused till very recently. So yeah, one factor is obviously that, and the other is, generally there is there was a discomfort that nahi yaar, I want some sort of a physical, I need a neck to catch, or I need a physical interaction to get that confidence. So I think because of the situation and adoption across digital categories, right? Be it the grocery or e-commerce, everything has just ballooned, over this time, and that adoption is helping sectors like ours as well. So we've seen those lead to completion rates being higher, much higher than before. We've seen people going almost 70 to 80% completely hands off, I would say, without the need of people involved. So that's something we have seen. But yeah, trust factor is one thing that if we are able to bridge that gap, which is now on our very heavily on our radar, then it can pretty much happen all on its own.
All online. Sure.
Yeah.
And so please go ahead.
Yeah. So I think this is one of the was one of the things which we also saw and benefited from, and now we want to institutionalize it and see that how can we structurally improve our unit economics by adopting and utilizing and riding the wave, so to say, that's happened. So that was one, and other few innovations. I think, like I was telling you, so it's a mix of physical, because people want to go to the bank branches. So while one is the whole safety approach, which is adopted by many brands, which are in the at-home category, right from that 9-step safety protocol process, which I think is anyway now adopted by many. So I won't really call it an innovation anymore. But yeah, in the financial space, in the financial technology space, we were the first ones to start to bring that confidence in just creating a small video around that. On the physical side, we actually created something which got us a lot of PR mileage as well. We created a kiosk wherein it's a zero human touch, sort of a kiosk wherein there is it has the UV filter and UV light. So all the documents and the gold that is coming from one side to the other, there is no touch. There is a which I could show you, but I don't have it handy right now. So on one side you put in the the documents and the gold, then the appraisal happens on the other side. So, and the conversation is happening via a mic, which is and it has a completely, so there's a guy in PP equipment in completely closed glass environment, and on the other side is the customer. So customer is still able to get that feel, yeah, there is a physical touch point, I'm getting the trust, but at the same time keeping the customer as well as us safe. So this we experimented with Federal Bank, and we got a very good response, and we are in the process of expanding that. And this goes towards the brand building piece as well, because one of the values we want to project as a brand is that we are a very tech savvy brand, because only then would people prefer to interact with you if you stand about technology. If technology is just one part of what you do, then probably it's not very trust evoking, so to say. So yeah, that's I think the other thing.
Definitely, I think it'll be great to hear from you, Ajit, as well on the direct touch, right? Like Karan was mentioning on the trust deficit being one factor for non-touch conversions. So how was the experience in Sundaram Mutual? I know we have worked on this.
So I think it's a bit more than just trust. If you look at the product that we sell, it's fundamentally not meant to be an instant product. Although we all like instant, the way it should be sold as an instant product is what some of us say, but Look, at the end of the day, this is a wealth creation product, right? And when people are going to invest a lot of money, it's human behavior to say, look, I don't want to be responsible for my decision, because if something goes wrong, I want to hold someone's neck, right?
Right.
So fundamentally, there is a role of an investment advisor or a distributor, right, in our industry. So I think it's important for us to break out all the digital touch points that are there currently for a customer, and then look at conversions by touch points. Because a customer who typically visits a mutual fund company's website or mobile app is perhaps not coming in with an intent to buy, right? Is perhaps coming with an intent to research, to study, to understand, to see what your portfolio mix is, to see where you're investing, what stocks do you hold in your portfolio, what's the NAV, the history of the fund, perhaps, right? So he's probably coming with an intention to learn and understand, and then make the decision to buy elsewhere or make the actual transaction elsewhere, right? And I'll give you an anecdotal point here, which I can expand on, right? We did a survey a couple of years ago on consumer buying behavior itself, right? While 85% of India continues to buy mutual funds through distributors and advisors, about 90% of those 85% of customers researched online before making the decision, before actually buying the product out offline, right?
Sure.
So it mimics consumer tech, it mimics healthcare, it kind of replicates some of those models, because consumers are spending a lot of time researching online on the product, but they're perhaps okay buying it offline, right?
Hmm.
Now, what's
So what
happened in the
about
last
like
6 months?
ATM and like grow some of the
Yeah,
aggregators?
yeah,
Like how are they
that's a good
able to
question.
break in? And yeah, absolutely.
That's a good question, right? And so that is this. The reason why you need to break it out is that, right? So the first thing is AMC websites. Then you have the Paytm, the Grows, etc., where inherently what they are building out is a marketplace, right? They are building out, massive marketplaces where the intention is to actually instantly fulfill customers' interest, right? So one of the things that we have done, with Paytm and some of the digital partners is, some of our funds actually take in investments as low as 100 rupees, right? This is the classic miniaturization that we all studied 20 years ago to what we're doing in mutual funds today, right? So the idea is to bring in a customer for as low as 100, because if I go and ask a customer for 10,000 bucks, he may say, look, I don't know how this 10,000 bucks is going to be. It's offline, it's online, it's presenceless. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to invest, but 100 bucks, it's okay. I'll invest 100 bucks. I think the idea was that. And the intention is, classic life cycle management. You bring him in, and then hopefully I'll be able to cross sell and increase his wallet share over time, which is actually more difficult than it seems, right? It's not easy, but we've seen a lot of traffic through that route. But our per investment amount is much more than that number. It's almost 4,000, 5,000 bucks per customer. So there are customers who start off small and then invest, right? But I think the idea is conversion needs to be looked at in different ways, and not really as everywhere a customer goes, are we able to transact and convert him? Because I think the customer actually comes in with a mindset to do different activities in different digital touch points, not necessarily to always convert. So I don't think it's got to do with trust, because if you no look at how, if we were to go to a financial advisor, and then I listen to him and I don't trust him, that's a different thing altogether, right? Whereas when he comes to a mutual fund website, he's perhaps coming with an intention to research, and he buys most of our products through a financial advisor or a distributor. So I think direct has to be looked at in that lens, unlike the classic consumer tech digital world.
No, very interesting and different perspectives as well. I think Karan saying, once you have the trust, and I think also what it clearly highlights is it depends on the product. A lending product where they are especially giving a deposit and, they want the money immediately, whereas here they are investing money for years or possibly even decades. So there's no rush to like close immediately. So unless you
Correct.
have a touch point, it's going to be very difficult. Or as you said, a marketplace where they have to start small, like 1,000 rupees. They're already broken in with some other investments, and then this is just an add-on investment, not the first investment on
Correct.
the platform. So I think that's a very good insight on, there's no one answer to it. Depends, even in fintech, depends on the product and the use case.
Absolutely.
I think, Karan, if you can talk a little bit about full funnel marketing itself, right? From what kind of activities you do, especially in the top of the funnel, considering trust is a huge factor and they need to know who we are, right? What kind of activities have helped, and what do you think that we need to do also, including videos or, interesting content like that?
Sure. In fact, yeah, this is a good time to, almost a good time to answer this, because we recently started, and we knew the need existed from a very long time, right? But we were initially focused more on the bottom of the funnel, because, like I said, just to ladder up slowly and profitably. So we started out with with people who were already looking for something like that, and then moved up to generating demand per se, right? So for top of the funnel, what we realized is that the perception, building a perception and associations for the brand, which is again to largely take care of the trust. That those activities need to start from there, and also the decision making cycle is while it's a immediate and urgent loan in most cases, but even there are nuances to immediate and urgent, is what we have learned recently. So for someone, an immediate and urgent would be tomorrow, but for someone, an immediate urgent means something which was not planned, and thus it falls in the category of immediate and urgent, but actually it is unplanned, and you have no visibility how to make up for this gap, but you still have around a week to plan and get this done. And also in our category, there are many times wherein and I would say 30 to 40% of times where the loan is taken to generate growth. So it's a all the traders, all the the manufacturers, they're actually using the loan to create opportunities, to actually act on opportunities in the market, and thus they have a longer period of planning for the purchase. So we realized that to cater to this, we need to have a full funnel approach. Now, when we talk about that full funnel approach, so it's about of course, is a digital ecosystem and property which has a fairly good distribution amongst our current TG. And then the traditional channels. So we did a lot of media inciting and surveys and interviews with the customers, and realized that the vernacular consumption of content is very high amongst this TG. So it required a big change in mindset, especially for a new brand, because now you are investing early, and you will get the returns over a slightly longer period of time, right? So in the traditional sense, if we look at a CAC, that's going to initially jump, and I think that's some a huge amount of internal alignment has to happen for us to do that brand building, and obviously measure very closely on what's happening. So in terms of now what to say, where to say it, and how to say it, I think they are the three parts of the framework, right? So what to say is a mix of, again, coming from insights that why does a person take a gold loan? How can we broadly segment? We don't believe in over segmentation, but broad segmentation basis use cases is important. So in our category, we realized that why would someone opt for a doorstep gold loan? Many reasons, apart from the cost benefits. Big reason is privacy, right? Because this is something you don't want to be seen doing. It's almost like a taboo, right? That you're mortgaging your gold. And coming from the way we are, and that's what you spoke about earlier as well, right? The cultural stigma, the social stigma attached to it. So we realize that this is a big problem which we are solving, and we need to create. And this is a big differentiator for us also, because we being the only full-fledged digital at-home provider. So yeah, we started this approach. We created a few video assets because nothing like video for really building an imagery. And AV really built that imagery for us. So we had a small 15-second creative which went on television, and a big investment on the digital side as well. So given how beautifully the segments are available now in the digital world, in Facebook or YouTube, so we could figure what is the kind of affinity which the people who are already coming are having. And also we also realized that that if you want to grow 10x from here, it's not the same kind of audience which has got us this far will take us to the 10x level of growth. So built a few hypotheses around those as well. And yeah, we started with the classical, 15 seconder, 20 seconder sort of creatives to build and drive the messaging. Then whoever was engaging, then we built many retargeting cuts of those to drive the message. Now, why we are doing this? It's a very obvious answer. We've actually seen tremendous improvement in our conversion rates, in our cost per transaction, which has gone down for the digital medium specifically, and overall for the organization as well. So in terms of ROI, like I said, the campaign is still on, so it's too early to say. But very clearly, the moment we went full funnel on Facebook and on YouTube, our cost per transactions actually has come down drastically. And so basically what's happening, and we did some modeling around that to that what's the saving from cost per transaction to cost per schedule to and we said that almost 50-60% is already getting recovered while the campaign is on. And the long-term benefit is obviously, so very soon, I think in a month or two, we will have the ROI at least for the digital spend in place. And we'll also measure the other brand elements, in the course of time. So while we always knew it, it just took time and waiting for the right time to hit. And this time is very conducive for a brand like ours, a category like ours. So yeah, we are seeing the benefits in a big way, and we continue to scale up and try out new channels as we go along.
So, Karan, maybe you can play the video as well. And I actually wanted to play when Ajit, you can play one of the NFO videos if that's fine with you. And
Sure, Sunil.
And then maybe
Absolutely.
discuss on the top of the funnel part in more detail.
Sure.
Yeah, let me.
I'll just play the Rupeek one first.
You have it. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So actually, I'll give you a brief genesis of this. So we actually started out. It was, a classical quarter end, month end pressure, and say like, okay, let's do something we haven't done before, and maybe and we didn't have a video asset, right? And to be honest, we don't even have a brand agency. We didn't have a brand agency for this. So this was created literally over the course of 7 days within the team. It was, written and done directly with the production house on a very short period of time, and purely built on the insight of privacy, which we never realized before research that this is actually this big for a category like ours. So yeah, it was just like a week's work and push.
No, let's check it out. I'll just play it now. Absolutely, 1 second. I'm just going to play a couple of the videos.
जब गोल्ड हमारा काम हमारा तो गोल्ड लोन के टाइम सबकी नजरें हम पर क्यों?
इसलिए रुपीक, अब बेफिक्र लीजिए घर बैठे गोल्ड लोन, लो इंटरेस्ट और 100% प्राइवेसी. विजिट rupeek.com.
I'm just going to close that. Yeah, play one of the Sundaram ones as well, which was one of the NFOs.
Some call it multitasking, some call it commitment. But most of us always wonder, how does she do it all? She gives her best in every situation, using flexibility to her advantage and striking a balance at every step. Strike the right balance with flexible moves with Sundaram Balanced Advantage Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully.
I don't want to skip the disclaimer, but yeah, it'll be great. I think, Karan, we heard from you on the privacy being an interesting insight, right? Which you digged into in the creative. I think maybe Ajit, you want to share on your.
And welcome to Sundaram Mutuals.
Yeah. Sorry, Sunil, I missed that part.
There was some background noise. Yes. No, I'm saying maybe you could share some insights on the top of the funnel campaigns, how you look at the creative and the communication and metrics as well, and maybe even for the Wisecast, the podcast initiatives which you've been driving at Sundaram Mutual.
Sure. So I think like we touched upon earlier, right? We believe that this is a product, category which needs to be demystified constantly. I think fundamentally, all our communication aims at demystifying this complex product, and then actually making this product as mainstream as possible to the customer. I think that's really our core to how we look at communication and creatives, and the balance advantage fund that you talked about, or in fact, the fund that we recently launched, which was the Sundaram Blue Chip Fund. If some of you had seen the creatives, essentially we drew a parallel with a sumo wrestler, right? And when you look at a sumo wrestler, the instant impression that you get when you look at a sumo wrestler is size, right? Is the fact that a sumo is massively big and huge to look at. But what the sumo wrestler also signifies is the fact that while he's big, he also has the agility, the flexibility, etc., to counter punches and pushes, etc., right? And he's stable, which is exactly what we want to position a blue chip or a large cap fund, right? Because a large cap fund is there, right? And there are enough large cap funds in the category. So for us to kind of demystify large cap, take it to a customer and approach it in a different manner, right, is how we really look at communication and content. So that's really what, and apart from that, I agree with what Karan talked about as far as videos. I think we also believe that videos are the best way to engage and reach audience, keep them hooked on. It gives them a visual feel of the brand that they are engaging with. Uh, but apart from that, I think our core focus has always been in terms of building a brand for the customer about who we are, what the product is, and then taking the customer to the advisor or the distributor for him to transact, right? So one of the things that happened with the blue chip fund is people started calling it the sumo fund. People continue to call it the sumo fund and not really the Sundaram blue chip fund, and we're perfectly happy with that, because we want it to be called a sumo fund and not a Sundaram blue chip fund, because there are enough blue chip funds in the industry, right? So ultimately, our focus is on educating the customer, and we have gone about creating a ton of assets in that space of education itself. And this is something which we've again done. It talks about the way we've transformed from a physical to a digital brand. Is 15-16 years ago, we used to have this a monthly collateral called the Wise Investor, right? Someone who is in their 50s would have definitely read it. But at peak, we used to print 500,000 Wise Investors a month and send it out to customers, right? That's the scale at which this product used to, and this is purely a investor education oriented communication, right? Talks about markets, economy. Not it will never talk about fund itself, never talk about Sundaram's funds, but essentially educating investors by Sundaram Mutual, right? We've transformed that into a completely 100% digital property today, right? So we've created this brand called the Wisecast, which is again available for seeing, for listening, and for viewing, right? So we have a blog which is called the Wise Investor. We've got a YouTube channel with the Wisecast, and then we've also got a podcast which is called the Wisecast, right? So the entire aspect of the Wisecast is to put out content, communication, to educate new customers, and to a certain extent the existing customers also, so that they need to be aware of the evolving landscape of the markets and economy itself, right? So that is something. And we've also created digital properties today. Like for example, we do something called the EMI, which is the economy, markets, and investments every month, right? We simplify markets monthly, and we talk about what it means to the customer, right? And these are all publicly available videos, and these are 30 to 40-minute videos. And then we also do what is known as a question hour, where we don't talk about markets, we don't talk about economy, but we really only take questions from customers, right? We spend about half an hour to 45 minutes, and we talk about we talk about the date. It is typically done towards the end of the month, so we take in a lot of questions during the 3-4 weeks of the month, and we aggregate all these questions, and we also take live questions. I think the intention is very clear. Intention is, can we build Sundaram Mutual as a brand, as a heavy content thought leadership, yet guys who understand this and make it very simple to customers, right? So that when you de-jargonize something as complicated as our business, it resonates with the wide audience. I think that is something that we've seen, and we feel that especially for a digital first audience, dejargonizing is very, very important.
No, definitely, Ajit. I think even Harish at Khata Book, like we had him earlier, where he drives growth, and we had some of the videos they've been using along with Tony as well as the micro influencers is very basic language, which it just feels like you're talking to a friend or someone. It's not really making it complex and stuff.
And I think
I just
vernacular
played the
also plays
sumo
a
video
very,
as well.
very important. Yeah, sure. I think vernacular plays a very
I
important
just played
role
a
as well.
sumo video and then we can discuss.
Good.
Yeah, we can discuss vernacular. I think we.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
I think in both all the three videos, you can see the communication is the focus and not necessarily the set or just the high production values. I think that while they have
absolutely, yeah.
I think even Rupeek, he finished it in 1 week. So the message seems to be get it out there, do it cost effectively, and keep the focus on the message rather than on the way it's communicated.
Absolutely. In fact, just to add to what Ajit was mentioning, especially in financial services, even for us, because the financial literacy level, I think, is still in India in general is very, very low, and especially the more you go middle of the pyramid, the worse it gets. So for us also, like, transparency is one of the key values which we have set out, because in the market, there are a lot of predatory lending practices. So for us, transparency becomes very, very important, and education becomes very, very important. So all our collateral, so we made a couple of explainer videos just to demystify that how does it happen, and why are we able to offer a lower rate than others, where is your gold stored, all of those things is done. So for us, it's almost 7x or 6x the amount of work, because for every item we create, we create it in all the languages in the cities we operate in, because the resonance there is extremely high. And while in terms of when we look at CTRs on ads, there we don't see that much of a difference. But in terms of comprehension, for more complicated stuff, their vernacular does play an extremely important role. And for us also, it's always a challenge. How do we make it simple? How do we make it visual heavy so that they know what they're getting into? Because we want the customer to be happy. We strongly believe it's a very high lifetime value category. So things like just like credit cards, in gold loans as well, there is the products are built in various ways. So one of the ways products are built is that you have a good low entry point, and then you have a commitment to make timely payments. If you miss those payments, then the interest slab changes, right? Which is a common thing, and it's all about setting the right expectation at the right time, and explaining this complex concept that how, why, and how, right? So simple use of green and red colors, or a basic easy to consume diagram which kind of demystifies, creating analogies that how why is it taking more than a day to to release your gold, and then we kind of say that just like how it happens in your popular e-commerce apps, and so making it dummy proof literally is
I think I don't know if you had a chance to see the Netflix documentary series on the bad billionaires, right? So it talks about Sahara and how despite I don't want to talk about the quality of the organization, but they demystified it. So we definitely need genuine organizations like Rupeek and Sundaram Mutual to have the highest bar on transparency and communicate effectively, because otherwise the wrong people will get the business, which is really bad for the country as well.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're talking about vernacular as well, Ajit. Do both of y'all want to just share in terms of since both are mass market, how have you all seen it, both at Rupeek and Sundaram Mutual?
Yeah, so I think we feel vernacular is very, very important from a content point of view, but also from a transaction point of view, right? I think if you really look at the amount of traffic that's coming from tier 2, tier 3, cities, in fact, that's a lot more than what you see from the top 8 cities today, especially in terms of volumes of transactions, right? So I think Bharat is up and ready, and they're all connected. They're all digitally enabled first today. So I think vernacular going forward will play a crucial role. What we have not yet seen is vernacular, adaptations of websites and apps at the scale at which I think we should have moved. That's not moved yet. I know there are brands doing it, but I think it's a bit of both, right? I think some of them believe that intuitively the design is such that language really doesn't matter, and you can, from a behavioral point of view, you can get customers to transact without the language being relevant at all. But I still believe that that's an area that needs some work. But otherwise, we have seen extremely positive signs as far as content is concerned. So, like I talked about earlier, some of these properties that we run, whether it's the EMI or the questionnaire, we also do a vernacular version of that. We've done it in Hindi. We've got a property in Hindi. We've also done Tamil, because Tamil Nadu is also a very, very important market for us. And both, Hindi and Tamil have seen very, very good traction. So we believe vernacular going forward will be a very, very important area. Also, this time for the product launch that we did, all the collaterals or the entire, collateral assets that we created were all vernacularized, and they were all vernacularized in 8 languages. And today, the scale at which you can do it is unprecedented, right? You can put these things together in super quick time. So we were able to vernacularize the entire, collateral basket across 8 languages.
Right.
And
I
that was
can see
received very
Nandita
well.
is happy to hear that she leads our vernacular teams as well. So
Yeah.
I think definitely. Karan, do you want to chip in?
Yeah. So in fact, before here with Marico, when I was in the Dubai market, it used to be, whatever we are doing, it's in English and Arabic, and it complicates things 2x. Now we are working in 8 languages, so it complicates things 8x. But I think extremely important. In fact, now we are structurally building our org, to be vernacular ready, because we know that the audience we are catering to, how important vernacular is. And it's not just going vernacular, because what happens is it needs to be given its due, share and importance. And for example, if we are doing something in say a Tamil, right, it'll be what we meant to say so we are thinking English or Hindi first, right? Yep. That's also one change which we would want to do moving forward, that you think vernacular, because a lot of literally loss in translation happens, and then you have so we built a structure of language champs, and we also try to ensure that at least in marketing team per se, we have one representation from all the languages we operate in. While it's not a mandate, but it's a preference, because and we have set up language champs cross-functionally as well. We've aligned it organizational structure-wise, that he will spend XX percentage. It's a very small percentage, but still, that a senior enough person who is a native to that particular language will spend this much time checking, those creatives. And these are not just the creatives which go out as above the line creatives in the market, but even the collateral, even basic stuff, we take it very seriously, and we kind of build it in the org structure, likewise. And I feel that's very important for many organizations which are catering to the middle of India. That's one good learning and insight I think I would just want to share, and that has helped us because people are resonating. Because if you don't do it right, like it can actually backfire, because they say that this brand doesn't understand me. He's written something which is sounding funny and not what it is intended to be. So working with great partners who understand vernacular, I think, becomes extremely important, and setting up that ecosystem internally and externally is very important.
Right, Karan. No, absolutely. It's been great working with you on the vernacular side as well. Nandita, you want to?
Yeah, I think One thing we wanted to also ask when we saw that Sumo fund and the other one, right? We always ended it with that long message of a regulatory message, right? So how does that when you're creating your campaigns, how does that impact or how do you work around it?
Around the
So,
regulation, basically, Ajit.
Yeah. So, look, I think the regulators are what they are. They've given a very clear, indications of what they expect. So I think in our industry, what's important is for, especially, as marketers and when you have, agencies also working, it's important to understand the background of the regulation itself, right? So, for example, in our industry, we can't use superlatives. I can't use things like great, good, discount, or fantastic, and these kind of words. I just can't use it, right? And when you talk about fund performance, it's very difficult to put together fund performance in creatives because I need to add a lot of disclaimer on fund performance, saying I can't do this, I can't promise this, I can't do that. I have to give a lot of stuff on past performance of the fund manager. So it's a very complex field, but once you get a hang of it, I think there are enough ways to work around. But I think that's where the creativity comes in, right? And I believe it's actually a good thing, to make this industry more exciting and make it more mainstream, right? The moment we start taking the regulation for what it is and using it as a communication, filter, then communication will become very boring, right? There's no point in talking to customers like how we actually talk internally, right? It's very complicated, right? Customers don't understand compounded annual growth rate. Nobody understands. An average customer doesn't understand what CAGR is. An average customer doesn't understand inflation, right? It's very difficult. People don't understand numbers intuitively, right? It starts from there. So I think the regulator actually help marketers think creatively, and help us take products mainstream, right? So we are trying to solve. What are we trying to solve? We are in the business of creating wealth. We're in the business of actually helping people meet aspirations and dreams, right? So within that umbrella, there are different ways of making creatives and content and communication exciting and appealing to customers. So and the second thing is we also look at mutual funds as a savings instrument, right? And we are launching a lot of products which will actually reposition mutual funds as a savings product itself. Like you take me for example, uh, all my investments and savings are within mutual funds, right? So if I want gold, I have it in a mutual fund. I don't have it in physical gold. If I want equity, it's in a mutual fund. If I want an allocation of fixed deposit, it is in a type of mutual fund. I want to buy US stocks, it's in a type of mutual fund, right? And hopefully, if I want to buy real estate, I will buy it in a mutual fund. And if I want to buy commodities, I will buy it in a mutual fund. So I think, there's a need for us to reposition mutual funds as a savings product itself and take that concept to the customer. So I think the regulator, has been very, very accommodative in giving us enough ways to actually communicate this. The one thing which I think will need some thinking is the disclaimer piece, right? And especially as I watch IPL these days, I see some of the mutual funds I had, which is what we are doing through Amphi. And there are some 350 words on the last screen, which is there for 2 seconds, right? What are we trying to solve there, right? Who are we trying to communicate this to? Nobody can read at that speed. There's too much content. What are we saying? Do people actually read it? So I think there's a bit of maturity that also will come in. I also understand that the regulator is thinking through these, and I think maybe sooner or later we'll have that solved as well. So I think that's the only piece that needs to be solved as of now.
Thanks for sharing that, Ajit. And Karan, any regulation in the loan sector which will factor into communication?
Being in the financial services, yes, there are regulations, but thankfully, it's not so well defined in terms of communication because, like I said, the category which we are in is pretty much very new. Like you said initially, that who's really the competition. Even to be honest, there's no direct competition per se because there's not been done before. So our category is a mix of wherein there is banks on one side, and then we are there as the marketplace, and we are connecting with the lenders while being front facing as ourselves as a brand, right? So we get the benefit of not being manufacturer, as Ajit was saying. So we are part manufacturer, part distributor. So the regulations kind of work, in our favor. We are able to, manage that well. But I think overall, if I speak about regulatory, I think if you look at the fintech space in India, the regulators are fairly, doing a good job in terms of, opening that regulatory sandbox that you can try out new things.
Yep.
So, which is what actually makes the future very interesting, because it's fueling innovation, especially in the lending side, on integrations that are happening with various, most of the systems are getting connected as we move along, which will bring in more data, which will really democratize the the lending setup. And we just want to ensure that we are on the right side of this benefit and gain that happens for the ecosystem. So yeah, in terms of regulators, I think we have been kind of lucky so far, and we don't really know. I mean, we may be sitting on a risky wicket. So if you saw the the ad, I mean, we have put in those small star marks where
5-point size text.
Yeah. So again, agree with Ajit that we have to put it because there's no option. But yeah, it's just not helping anyone. Truly speaking, we are just saving our this thing. And is it really helping the customer? I don't think so, because they're not able to read.
Even mis-selling and insurance continues unabated, right? How much regulation is there? They always find a way around. So I think it's improved, but
yeah, what we can do is at the point of sales, when a physical meeting happens or a digital meeting happens, there we take due effort and acknowledgements and proof to ensure that whatever we are supposed to tell is being told, and is being told creatively, right? Like I was mentioning earlier, that we have created those, what you are getting into very clearly, almost created those danger signs that, if you don't pay monthly on time for this particular product, interest may jump. If we don't accept cash payments, things like that. If we very creatively tell this upfront and get that acknowledgement in, then we are regulator safe. But yeah, in mainline communication, I don't think it's we just need more maturity from the regulator.
Right. No, I think it's great to have a very. Ajit, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, just if I were to add just a couple of minutes, Sunil. So I think if from a regulator's point of view in our industry, right, I think the regulator has been extremely, proactive from 2 points of view. One, because you touched upon mis-selling and insurance, and I wanted to talk about that from a SEBI point of view. I think the regulator in our industry has been extremely proactive as far as identifying different pockets of potential mis-selling. Right. So if you look at the product that we sell, inherently, what's the value proposition? I'm investing in the markets. I can't promise anything, right? Gold loan, he can promise a loan. Credit card, you can sell a credit card, right? To insurance, there is an insurance cover. What do I have? I can't promise anything because my value proposition is very fuzzy. It's up in the air, right? So at the end of the day, marketing, communication wise, the regulator is very clear that, look, talk about the concept, talk about the idea, but you can't promise anything because you don't control what you're selling, right? But apart from that, I think the regulator has done a fantastic job in terms of streamlining the ecosystem itself, right? The way he structured, the entire eKYC onboarding, digital onboarding of customers, digital onboarding of distributors, understanding how UPI should be used for mutual funds, breaking through, digital verification of bank accounts. I think some of these things the regulator has been extremely progressive in our industry. So I think net, we're very happy. Yeah, we're very happy with the way SEBI has moved.
No, that's nice. I think very rarely is regulation favored. So I think it's good. I think even in e-commerce and all, actually regulation has helped streamline and make things very legal and clean. Whereas earlier, a lot of things were in the gray zone. So I'm sure when in the loans and gold loans, good regulation at the right time will only help make it even more mainstream as a platform. Thank you so much. I think we are running out of, we are already out of time, but any final thoughts from both of y'all, Karan and Ajit, before we wind up? I think it's great to have leaders like y'all lead on these organizations and spread investor education as well as enable wealth for Indians. We started the Digital Premier League with the national anthem, and I think apart from knowledge, I think one of the key things is that we move forward together as a nation, right? Which I think you'll have both enabling in your organizations very well. So.
No, I mean, I would I keep hearing a lot of people, and I keep reading a lot of news that this too shall pass, and COVID is something like a natural calamity. But I look at India having opportunities during crisis. It happened in 91. It happened in 99, 2000. It happened a couple of years ago with the geo breakthrough when 4G went at scale. We missed the 3G revolution completely. We went straight to 4G. If we missed the pager revolution, we went straight to mobile. I think this is that sort of a moment for us, right? As a nation, where digital penetration is here to stay, and like it or not, it's an unfortunate way to get this through COVID. However, I think the way consumers and brands are going to interact has completely transformed, right? So digital as a journey will no longer be an option. It's perhaps the only way to operate. That's the way I see it.
Thank you, Ajit. Absolutely. And Karan, any final closing comments?
Yeah, no, I think very healthy discussion, very insightful. I think pretty much, in line with what Ajit also said, that we are at the cusp of very, interesting phase in the financial services industry. And by adopting and going digital first, it's actually a very big opportunity we are sitting on. And COVID has forced many of us and has created the right environment to really pivot from. So I'm very sure those who are looking at it as an opportunity, are progressive enough, have the right culture and mindset to capitalize on this. We'll be creating a lot of value, both for the organizations and for the consumer.
Right. No, absolutely. I think I was talking to Meenakshi from Google a few days back, and she was saying this is possibly the opportunity of a lifetime in the digital space, because never again are we going to get such a steep curve in digital adoption. This is going to be the once in a generation opportunity. And thank you so much. With that, we'll end this session. Ajit and Karan, it was really a pleasure talking to both of you, and thanks Nandita for co-moderating the session with me.
My pleasure. Thanks, Karan. Nice to meet you. Thanks, Sunil. Thanks, Nandita.
Same here, Ajit. Thanks, Sunil.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I think we have another digital innovator, Sandeep, joining us from Jaquar, and if you all have time, it would be great to have you all stay on for that session. A warm welcome to Sandeep, and I'll hand it over to Vikas to lead on that session.
Yeah, hi. How are you, Sunil?
Hi, Sandeep. Great to see you.
Same here.
Thanks, Sunil, and a warm welcome, Sandeep, again. We have Anuradha as well, who will be moderating the session along with me. Great. So we'll get started, Sandeep. I'll quickly introduce you to the audience. I think your T-shirt says it all, but I'll do a quick introduction anyways. Sandeep is the General Manager and Head of Marketing Communications for Jaquar Group Global Operations. And he's a marketing professional with over 23 years of experience across the board. And he's proven entrepreneurial in the way he's done things, and he's delivered strategically significant integrated marketing and communication solutions in different industries, including building and construction, retail, and advertising. He's had a global experience across Middle East, Europe, Africa, and Asia Pacific, having worked with large cross-functional multicultural teams. He started his career in advertising with JWT, and then he worked with brands like Pepsi, Nestle, and HMT as well. He actually helped build a barista brand of cafes with the Arcus Turner Morrison Group. And post that is when he entered the building and construction industry with AIS Glass. And he helped the AIS Glass company build a B2C brand. And that was almost 15 years ago. So it's amazing. I think Sandeep's been innovating since then. He then led the marketing of Hindware for 5 years. And then he took on the role that he currently has at Jaquar. He's a co-member of the group's strategic initiatives at Jaquar and spearheads the marketing communications across all global markets. And his portfolio currently consists of brands across the luxury segment, which is Artis, the premium segment of Jaquar, as well as the value segment of Esco as well, and the complete lighting solutions as well. So a lot that Sandeep brings to the table. So very warm welcome, Sandeep, once again.
Thank you, Vikas. Thank you, Anu. We have been meeting so often. So it's like a habit now.
Absolutely.
Sandeep, really excited about this session today, especially to know about the Jaquar journey as well as yours. The global rise of Jaquar, which is a homegrown Indian brand, we feel it's truly a stuff of business legends. To put some perspective, Jaquar holds about 60% of the Indian market share and has expanded to 45 countries. The group produces over 28 million bath fittings annually across 5 plants in India as well as 1 in South Korea, right? So what we would love to know is what are the 3 things that help Jaquar to set itself apart from the rest and make it big globally?
Thanks, Anu. In fact, things are so dynamic, so it's no more 45. We have already touched 60.
Right.
In terms of
right.
Yeah. So which also makes a point that how Indian companies have the caliber and the all the essentials to be a global player, and especially in the manufacturing sector. Because we are not known world over from manufacturing, and so this makes our journey even more significant. And it's very tough to put in 3 boxes, I would say, but I would really say the quality, the unflinching, the passion towards making great products. And with due respect, before the globalization hit India, there was always trying to make products suiting the local environment and managing the, we were never having that kind of a global aspiration. So even when we are not present in all of these countries, our products were, as good as any brand, product in the world. So, the promoter, Sri Anil Mehraji, and when he founded this company in 1960, he was very clear that, we can compromise anything, but not the quality. So I think this whole passion towards quality, for us to jump to a global environment was for me like any other market. I don't have to really calibrate my products or, material specifications, and secondly, the how tough and harsh conditions of water in India, the application, the usage. So India, to me, for us, become a kind of a lab for the world. So the quality, I would say, the first thing. Second, I think what interesting proposition we have for the world is complete bathroom solution. No player in the world, have a as wide and as deep width and depth in the portfolio. So I think this whole complete bathroom solution is really catching people fancy. They rather going to 10 different places, 10 different brands. You have a brand which offers you right from your shower enclosures to showers to taps to sanitary ware to water heaters. Now it's a huge saving of time, cost, for architects and builders. Consumers, is very easy that he steps into one showroom and he gets everything. And not only is aggregation of products, but as we say, complete bathroom solutions. So we have a solution perspective. So we have the local nuances in place, and that's how we really offer them solutions. Case in point, like example, there's a 5-star hotel was getting ready in Middle East, and I think particularly Dubai, and they wanted a tap finish, color matching the upholstery, the curtains. It took us almost 2.5 months to deliver that kind of a finish. Any player in the world would have probably would have ignored it or said no, or they would have taken years to get into process. So these are the solutions, not only in terms of products but in terms of the way you service. Third thing, I would say especially Rajesh Mehra's dream, the promoters, the director promoter, it's very daring to take that kind of a leap of faith and as an Indian brand to establish not only in areas like regions like Africa or Middle East, but Europe. When I say Europe is especially the sensitivity or European products, the mindset they have towards Asian countries, even Southeast Asia, very competitive in terms of because of Chinese influence. So in spite of all this, I think his vision to make Jaquar as one of the global leader, I think it's all starts from the top. So I think if I really want to put all these as in 3 boxes, or I would say To me, these are the 3 points I would say.
Great. No, absolutely. And I think when we enter the Jaquar headquarters in Manesar, you can actually feel that vision, right? The entire facility, everything that you do has that quality, has that vision embedded into it. And I think if people in the group haven't seen it, definitely go check out the pictures of the global headquarters of Jaquar as well. So coming to the digital spectrum, Sandeep, I know Jaquar actually touches millions of customers digitally as well every month now, and almost 500,000 customers visit the website as well. How did this focus on digital come into play, right? And I think you're one of the early players to actually start focusing on digital in this space. How did that come about, and how has that journey been?
Actually, you're so right. For us, digital intervention was because of COVID or because of all the media vehicles were struggling or the doors were shut. We always believe that in education and helping customers understand the category, because there are nuances of the category where brand recall and awareness is not enough. Brand promotion is equally important. So I want to have a great bathroom, but I don't know where to start from. So if I'm buying a car or a mobile phone, I'm very clear, But the moment you get into the bathroom as a subject or a lighting for a subject, there are multiple, challenges and the points and, whatever goes behind the wall, all it becomes a kind of a detailed and a complex working. So if you leave it at the advertising level, which is if in a traditional way, the TV, the print and all that, you will always have a challenge in terms of customers not able to understand the product well and applications for that matter. So I think that was a trigger point. So for us, the website, the digital interventions, whether in terms of our apps, whether in terms of a lot of videos, education videos, the purpose is to reach out to our customers. When I say customers, they are stakeholders like influencers, which are architects, interior designers, the plumbers, the retailers, the facilitators, customers like builders. So it's very, very important to talk to them in detail, help them. And even for specifiers like architects, interior designers and plumbers also, the category is so vast. And to be very fair with architects, interior designers, they're dealing with hundreds of products. And within hundreds of products, there are multiple brands. So it's impossible for him to have an in-depth knowledge of each and every product and application. So idea is to have all the brand information, the product information at one place where he can access, we help you buy, we help you select. And that is one of the reasons why we got into digital intervention. And obviously that journey started from there. And definitely many partners came in, like today SocialBeat is one of our very important partner in how in domestic India we are spearheading our digital intervention. So how we are in, moving ahead towards this direction. And I have no qualms in saying that we are learning. Every single day I learn new jargon. I learn new, the kind of time I'm spending on digital, it's a blessing in disguise, because beyond a point, what are the TRPs, how the print is planned, the TV is planned, the creativity, but digital has opened completely a new, avenues for us. And we were receptive. When the changes from within, it's easy to accept. When the changes from outside, it becomes really difficult. So for us, change was within. And today we can say we are the most searched bathroom brand in the country. We have average, and the data only came from your last report with my team you shared, is we almost double the time as compared to competition people are spending on the website. As goes average is 17 minutes. Now imagine a category like bathroom and lighting, I'm sure you will not just go there for just fun and just browse. It's a category which you want to buy and you want to really indulge in the category. So these are the interesting insights. The way people go search on Jaquar products, the way they go in various sections of the products, the way they download, easy for for all kind of customers. For architects, very easy for him to download the drawings, the CAD drawings. Today there is something called a business building management system, wherein you have to download and plug in the latest drawings of the products, which helps you into calculation of your water pressure, the air pressure, things like that, and your energy conservation. So all this data is available. So it's something very, very easy for customers. On one side, the end customer, today we have an app wherein you simply have to click a picture from your phone and upload on the app, and within few seconds, my customer care will get to know that you have a problem. Now, imagine from a time that you click a picture, download on your D drive, and then you write an email. So so today, and this is one part of it, and then amplification definitely today, because of it's like the challenges with the print as an industry is almost like degrowing from a couple of years. COVID has accelerated that degrowth. Today, if you see the kind of content happening in TV, because especially brands like bathroom and lighting in the context of India, we were not like an FMCGs where we used to advertise on these general consumer network like Sonys and Stars of the world, because they're pretty costly. And so our mainstay of our communication was largely the news. And the kind of content today is on the news. People, there is a kind of a big fatigue. People don't. So I don't want to really release my content when people are already sad. They're not in a good mood. So for us, digital has is becoming not only the brand comprehension, but even the awareness and recall. And the kind of current campaigns which we are now going ahead, and with every campaign we are going bigger, every campaign we are going in more detail. And so for us, digital has been a very, very interesting journey, and every second day we are learning. And hopefully, because the tech is so technology loaded that new platforms comes in. By the time you learn that platform, that like example, the TikTok has gone. So by the time play, the technology is gone. So you have to always be on the toes.
Absolutely.
At the Times of India, Dainik Bhaskar there for ages. What is the per square centimeter rates and things like that. Here things are very, very dynamic. So
absolutely.
This has really paved a way for Jaquar as a group. And we are quite ahead in our digital interventions with our customers, stakeholders.
No, absolutely. And I think even the digital journey, like you said, for the consumer has evolved over time, right? And I know you experimented with video calling as well during the entire pandemic, and there's a lot of new ways to engage with customers that have definitely come by as well.
Yeah. In fact, you raise a good point. In fact, because of the lockdown, we have to go a virtual route, and people have laptops. Good part is that COVID has made people accept it faster. So I think the acceleration part has happened. People are already on towards it, but somehow it has minimized the learning curve for all of us.
Absolutely. And looking at COVID, Sandeep, so you did mention briefly, but I think the entire being at home renovation, making adjustments at home has become a very big focus area, right? People are spending so much time here. How has that changed the product consumption? And I know you mentioned a bit about products which have sensors and others, and we've run a successful campaign around sensors and sensor and sensibilities. Would you want to share some highlights from that?
Yeah, see, definitely. I think the first 1.5 months was tough because government itself has said you can't open the factories, you can't open retail counters, customers can't step out. So it's been a tough phase, that phase. But as I talk today, in fact, we are almost at the pre-COVID numbers. So when I say that, numbers don't lie. When if I'm at the pre-COVID numbers, means that people are buying. And means people are now, if you see, they are out in market. Fear of COVID has been diluted to a certain extent, and especially people are doing up their homes. They want to renovate their home. In fact, the importance of home has gone up. I at times I really see. In fact, just before the COVID, I bought a car. I just once in a while I just see it from a distance that wish I could have invested that the money in the home. So the point is that yes, in the first phase for us was communicate to our customer that keep happy, stay in home. That was a phase, and when we realized that, I think there's a time to move out and let people because it's bathroom and lighting both is a basic needs. It's not something they're essentials of the home. So a lot of people lockdown happened suddenly. So there was a lot of pent up demand for these lockdown phase. So when they opened, it just people went out and, trying to fix the things and all, with all obviously the proper protocols of that. We, in fact, at the time we did a very successful campaign of Sensor and Sensibility, and we need to facilitate customers with the product which promotes social distancing. So Sensor was a huge success for us in terms of the growth. Is almost say 200% growth was there on the Sensor products. Awareness has happened. And why the sensibility part of the campaign was there, that not entire India can adopt Sensor. So we said, okay, even in the single levers, even in the quarter turns and multi turns, how you can still maintain social distancing. So our campaign was very comprehensive, right from the PR, digital, mail line, TVCs. We did that, and we both know that how effectively it has reached to our audience. And the good part with digital, that you can measure the accountability, and you measure the data, that the reach, the likability of campaigns. So that campaign has worked. And now it's a business as usual in terms of communication, and we are launching products, we are launching new categories. So for that matter, I think yes, COVID had initially derailed some of our efforts, but we are back in our business. Largely to do with the retail segment. Yes, project will take some more time, but
Right.
retail will come back. And apart from retail, the tier 2 and tier 3 markets, which have really shown tremendous growth. So I would say, and this is where Jaquar and Esco particularly, Esco, which we have a brand which is in a value segment, even lot of builders now looking at affordable housing serious way. Though government mission was, in 3-4 years they were talking about, but somehow the real meaning has come today. People want simple, functional, value for money, good housing, no fancy doors, no fancy landscaping, because India needs homes. India needs homes. So that segment is showing a great thing. And we have an entire portfolio, the brand Esco for that range.
Yes.
So these are really Sensor, retail, affordable project, is really gaining the momentum. And one of the most interesting thing what we realize, that a lot of people have now awareness and sensitivity towards immunity, health, well-being, wellness. So there's the trend emerging out where people are looking to have wellness zone at the place. They're looking for spas and steam cabins, shower enclosures. They don't want to step out into a salon or a spa or a gym. So a lot of people are looking for home gym, home wellness thing. So going forward, I see there's a huge trend, because they're the permanent marks which COVID will leave behind. That how to make your room, make your society, township, as wholesome as possible. So you need to have a very minimal intervention with the outer world. So I think these things have helped us, in these times.
No, absolutely. I think it was a very well-crafted campaign. And like you said, while everybody cannot afford sensors, you have other products that can help still maintain the hygiene and overcome the COVID. So that very nicely put campaign. And I think the other question I had, Sandeep, also was that you have multiple stakeholders here, right? You have end consumers, you have your dealers and distributors, you have your orientation centers, you have architects, interior designers, you have builders. You have a multitude of people you want trying to build your brand with. How do you go about sort of splitting campaigns and budgets and efforts towards each of these stakeholders?
Definitely, this is where, in fact, a constant debate with your team is always there, and we have a multiple agency like globally also. We keep talking to them, how to fix a universe, how to fix a universe which is a combination of specifiers and end customers, because we truly believe, we're a pro marketing brand. We believe in advertising and marketing. We believe in education. So our communication, in fact, India is the only country where you make TVCs in bathroom space. You go to Europe, you see a product films. There's no brand films as such. Idea is that to make this category more aspirational, so people, it's not a commodity anymore. See what happened to some of the industries like tiles and all that. It's becoming a commodity now. You need to build aspirations around your product. Then only marketing comes into play. So used a lot of advertising, which means talking to end customers, which is your serious home customers who really want to dwell into home building. So we continue to be the, one of the mainstay of our customers. And secondly is architects and interior designers, because they are the people who further specify you. They are your brand custodians and brand amplifiers. So so between specifiers and end customers, we largely play around when it comes to digital marketing. But today you can reach out to any audience for that matter. So there's always a challenge to fix the universe, but yes, a priority depends on campaign to campaign. So if I have a product which is more technical in nature, my priority is to first make sure that this education happens at the dealer level, at the builder level, architect level. When we're talking something which is very aspirational, which people like showers as a category. Now, shower is more of it's like a romance in the bathroom. It's a very experiential product. So obviously you need to talk to the right audience for that matter. So if I'm talking more of a products like street lights, or for example, if talking, very complex lighting systems, obviously my target is, a lighting consultant. So what we do, any campaign we start, we fix the universe. And obviously with the data around the kind of analytics we do for the website, a previous campaign, this is what I keep discussing with the team. Whenever we get into the new campaign, whatever the universe we have created from the past campaign should give us the insights. So if a lot of people are watching my content, if I get to know the profession, if they're matching with the people coming on my website, I can create a lookalikes. And hopefully by, over a period of time, you create your own community of people who are aware of your brand. And then hopefully they will come back to my website. They will dwell on the various products, then download catalogs. They look for retail counters where products are available. So it's not as easy as it sounds. If I would have known where my entire money has gone, I'll be the happiest. But but it's far better than what we used to do in print. Wherein is largely a guesswork. So it's no more a guesswork now. And this is so I think lot to be done. In fixing the universe, because you're so right. If your universe is not in place and with the finite budgets, then there's always a challenge.
Absolutely. And that's why it's amazing to see the renewed focus also on channels like LinkedIn as well, where you can actually find that architect, you can find that interior designer, and of course go after larger universe on platforms like YouTube and Instagram, where everybody is there, but you go find your customers and go after them.
In a category like a B2B, so there are shades of B2B in our business also, where builders are a serious part of our customer or from marketing communication, where individual itself becomes your amplifier. So today, if I have more than 400 people working in the field, they have their LinkedIn accounts. They're communicating they're further resharing your content. They're engaging with architects and builders on social media accounts. So this facility is never there in the print and TV. So this is where I think digital makes a lot. That is not only like Vikas and Sandeep is driving the initiative. The ball is in open now. So everybody, so every individual is a potential marketer. If I keep discussing this with my team, and not just to boast around, but if individually I can generate 25,000 impressions on LinkedIn, for example, and if everybody does it in a company of say 10,000, even 20% people are doing this, you're probably bigger than any channel and even for that matter. So I think this is where digital is very significant.
No, absolutely, that's true.
Sandeep wanted to speak about the orientation centers which Jaquar has launched. It's very unique to the brand. So what was the thought behind that, and how has the response been so far?
See, I think orientation center is exactly what I was telling Vikas that about education, brand comprehension. See, this category and orientation centers are pretty old in India. They're 80s, I think around 86, 90s, we started this orientation center. And the purpose of orientation center, the customer like you and me can walk there with no pressure to buy. Otherwise, you land up in a store, you always have this pressure that I have to, if I'm asking so many questions, then I might as well buy. Yeah. And the customer, and obviously retailer, to be fair with him, if he spends so much of time with every customer, he will not able to do business. He has to eventually cut the bill also. So to really come out of this riddle, we said, okay, we are open our own centers. And as the name says, orientation center, idea is to orient people towards right bathroom products, planning of bathroom, generating the BOQ, which is bill of quantity, creating them, giving them design and expertise and knowledge, and empower with them all this data. And they say, now you have a freedom to buy from anywhere you want. You can buy my product, you can buy my competition's product, but this is very heartening. Every customer who walks into a store, orientation center, we have a 95% conversions, and they convert big. So, they walked into the showroom thinking to have a great shower, but they say, oh, I never thought the shower enclosure is also needed to have a great shower. Oh, if I'm needing a large rain shower, then my 25-liter water geyser will never work. So I need probably a large 100-liter water heater, and that to be fitted in a shaft area. So, so this is actually, these places have become a great knowledge center, helping people to plan, decide, and including architects and builders. Like architects, now imagine for an architect, step into an architect situation, architect dealing customers on a daily basis. He can't go with you to multiple retail counters to select products. He doesn't have that time. He knows that he can simply send them to Jaquar Orientation Center, and where people can guide him. So this has really become something very unique. It's first of its kind when we started this in late as the 90s. And a lot of people have now started taking in our industry, similar routes. But what now which COVID has created new opportunity for us, which is a virtual OCs. So now it's very heartening that we have only 21 centers in the country, and it's not possible that entire country we can manage with them with 21 oriented centers. And in the lockdown, we got calls from places which we have never imagined. Agartalas and all these obscure locations, and they have this great aspirations and dream to have a bathroom, but they don't know how to start with. And the beauty is that with the virtual intervention, with the right videos, we can. It's like a live walkthrough with the guidance. Practically today, I'm generating more footfalls on virtual than physical stores. That's what this is really heartening. So not only these places a great place where you can learn about new products, it also helps your clients, builders, to really go and see new innovations happening. Because as a builder, as an architect, I always want to know what's happening in the market. I'm a doctor, so I always want which is a new medicine, which is a new new drug has come in the market, and I have no time to move out. So can I go to one place and where I can get to know what's happening? So even once in a month, if an architect comes over, he gets a fair idea of what's happening in the industry. So when he's sitting with his client or when he's working on any mega project, so he really know what product to fit in for what. So that's the whole purpose of Orientation Center. It has worked very well for us. And as I talk to you, we have not stopped this journey in India. We have created these Jaquar Orientation Center with a new name called Jaquar Worlds. So Jaquar World is present across now almost 17 to 18 Jaquar World stores, whether it's Milan, whether it's Dubai, whether it's Moscow, all across Johannesburg. So we have all London for matter, we have 2 stores. So these stores are a great place to educate. And this comes from Mr. Mehra's philosophy that if you educate people, if you help people, sales is default. So this is the primary thought behind having orientation centers.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the direct to consumer focus that is there, it's really amazing. And actually, there's a related question from Lavanya on: do you see e-commerce in the sector, picking up post COVID, and is there a direct to consumer strategy that will evolve thanks to COVID?
See, e-commerce is here to stay, whether we like it or not. People have COVID has again accelerated that. but just blindly cut and paste e-commerce in my category will not work. So as in fact, I'll disclose with you, we have taken a plunge of e-commerce, but we are only generating the demand online, facilitating through a local store. So it's a hybrid model. Yes. And what because the kind of people walk into my website and the kind of intervention they're doing, the catalog stores, it's a clear indication that they need help. Now, if they need help, how can I help them? Obviously, if you see we have more than 10,000 products and complex products, sometimes assortments are there. It's not just like a one tap you go and buy. So there are 4 or 5 assortments with a tap. There's some assortments with shower. So what we are doing, we're creating a small library, a small section within the website, which is a truncated miniature portfolio, which products are very easily to be understood through videos and explanation, like hand shower, like shower head, like a simple tap. So I'm sure India is now seeing a replacement market. Till about 5-6 years back, 90% was a new construction market. Now people want to, the way they're changing upholstery, obviously not in furniture, now they see the bathroom also be spick and span. So there is a lot of renovation happening, not just because the product is going bad, but just aspirations are going better. I want a great shower. I want a bigger shower. I want a shower with the LED. I want a shower with a massage. Now, if you have things like that, you need to have a constant upgradation. So in that case, we have created a song, I think is a matter of time, maybe next 2-3 months, our e-commerce venture will start. So where is a hybrid model. People will come on website, they will purchase products, and it will be directed towards the local Jaquar retail counters, which are authorized dealers. They will make the right facilitation. Advantage is that the customers doesn't have to really worry about the delivery and reaching out and all that. And in case he needs further support on the product or extra, he knows where to go. Yeah.
Sandeep, you had already spoken about sensor and sensibility and all the new things that are going to come up because of COVID. But are there any other trends that you foresee for the year 2021?
Trends in the bathroom industry?
Yes.
See, as I said, the wellness. I see definitely the well-being, the wellness, immunity. These are some of the this people are is really taking it seriously. And like example, in my society, the gym is open, but I am the lone runner in the morning. People are not coming. People are very skeptical for that matter. I'm sure there's, these health centers and spas and salons, they'll get affected. So if I have a 5-bedroom house, why I need a tap and a basin area, shower area? I can create one bathroom as a wellness bathroom. I can have a spa at home. I can have a steam at home. So I see this trend picking up. Definitely, this is definitely your upper middle class HNIs. You will grab these opportunities. Sensor is here to stay. Sensor not only in the bathroom products but lighting products. People are looking for more sensor applications. Like the huge surge in demand happening in these parking areas lights, because they not only facilitates the social distancing, but is a great energy conservation. So the water conservation, the electricity conservation is there. So today, if I'm having any large mall and a parking center, why to have a perpetual light on? So only a 20% light is there, which makes sure I can walk. But the moment I step in next to the car, 100% light is there. You can save a huge cost. In fact, you can make your parking free. The biggest challenge, biggest irritation for customers today is that when guy says, I want 100 rupees for the mall parking, you don't want to give. And, I'm just saying, these are great savings. So I think sensor penetration, not only in the taps, but in the various products and the lighting, as I said, and products which facilitates immunity and well-being. So you'll see I'm predicting definitely the wellness zones coming in home. It's like a water treadmills for you. So you will have the way treadmills came into home 7-10 years back. I will see these wellness, wet wellness, as we say, will make a way in the homes. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all have a mini spa in our own homes soon enough. Yeah.
Actually, because it's, we generally, we all feel, oh, it's not for me, it's no luxury. No, it's not. You create a great wellness space in your bathroom with as basic as 2.5 lakh rupees. Now imagine the ROI over 10 years.
Correct.
If I take a membership of any gym or a health spa, I'm paying 10,000 rupees. Then I burn my oil. By the time I'm back, I'm already
Tired.
I'm tired. So if you really see the ROI and the money you're spending is nothing, and I'm talking about if you have a 4 or 6 member in the family, they can all use it. So I'm saying the per person cost over 10 years is a steal. And this is where I think digital can do. We can educate people. We can tell them it's for you. It's not only for richy rich. You can also have these products at your place.
No, absolutely. I think that's going to be the next innovation and challenge for us to work on. Absolutely. One of the other things, Sandeep, you have done really well is also looking at the amplification for your authorized dealers as well, and that's something we've recently embarked on to make sure that the authorized dealers, they show up on Google when somebody searches for a store near them, right? And I think that's definitely the next step to making sure the consumers find a authorized Jaquar store near them. I think would be great to hear thoughts on, how did you decide on that, and how do you put efforts into building something that's indirect but still drives success for Jaquar?
Again, see, it's very important. The last leg for any consumer product, the loop to close is to get the right, facilitate him to buy the product. Because if I'm really educated, then he really trusts my brand. He really trusts Jaquar products. He has gone on my website. Now, if he has gone on my website, he needs to know from me as a brand, where should I go and buy these products? So, and also, there are a lot of spurious products are in the market, so there are a lot of bad apples. So we as a company said we have authorized dealers. Now, these authorized dealers are my dealers. They're selling the great quality product. They'll stand behind you for any kind of a customer support and service. So it's very important for me as a brand to promote them. Definitely makes a business sense, because if my dealers are doing well, they're getting queries. People are net savvy now. They're checking where the latest products are available. Yes. And also, and it gives back a lot of energy to your main website. A lot of people you will get more footfalls. People will get so it's a great for customers. He gets to know, and obviously, see, dealers, you don't expect them to be digital savvy. They know all those things, So now, in fact, this is what, in fact, as late as yesterday, I was talking to my team, and I said I need educational video. So if at least my dealer knows what we are doing, and moment he sees that, he can respond that. Now today, if I know through my data, which obviously feed is coming from you, that so many customers have gone to a particular dealer by looking the address or calling them. If that particular dealer is not aware of that, then I think his sensitivity towards his customers will go. He knows that today a lot of customers are coming to me. I've shown my line is always working. If I mentioned my store open 7 days, I should be 7 days open. If I'm saying I start from 11 o'clock, because this 10 years back, these counters, like, if today I'm not feeling well, I'll not open the store.
Right. Yes.
So, or maybe today I'm just tired, so I'll open at 2 o'clock. And you can't do that anymore now. There is a huge pressure from customers. They're checking products, and for customers, a great help. So today, is no more like I'm born and brought up in Agra, for example. I'll make a house there. I got a job in Bangalore. I bought an apartment there. I want to renovate now in Bangalore. Is as clueless as anybody in American coming to India. So if he searches that, he knows Jaquar is a great brand. I trust this brand, and he says Jaquar store near to me. As simple as that, and he gets to there. And when he gets to know that, I can get to know what kind of a customers are coming to my place. Which are the stores doing well? Are these stores accepting my customers well? Now that's some bit of analysis that needs to be done. So it's a great insight, because people are now searching this category online and even trying to buy it online also. So in that case, as good as even handing over to the right person to select your product or buy a product is a good thing.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think it's great to see the constant focus on education and videos and helping dealers. I think there's a whole bunch of things that we are doing to make that happen. We also thought we'll quickly play the latest video we made for Jaquar Prima as well, which launched a few days ago. So we'll quickly play that for the audience and maybe then hear your thoughts on that as well.
I'm gonna try my lipstick now.
अरे शर्मा जी, आपके घर में लाइट कैसे?
जैक्वार प्राइमा है ना?
जैक्वार प्राइमा करो फिट, घर को रखो हमेशा लेट। अब हर प्राइमा बल्ब के साथ ट्रिपल ए निपो बैटरी बिल्कुल फ्री। आज ही खरीदिए अपना जैक्वार प्राइमा।
Absolutely. So this is a campaign we just launched a week ago, but we're great to hear from you, Sandeep. I think it's a product that sort of surge protects, and we wanted to bring that out in a different way. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on that and how we're looking at this campaign, sort of creating awareness over the next few weeks.
Yeah, see, the bulb as a product, obviously is not a durable product, so that, you really plan it out, bulb is, like if I'm in a market and I go and buy a bulb, but
Yes.
What we realize that though it's maybe a product of say 100 rupees, 200 rupees, this bulb is around 100 plus, but, it's a very, very important product in the home, and today, many of the societies and townships and cities have a lot of surge issues, and this is the bulb which stands the 4 kV kind of surge. And what is one thing interesting, which is no bulb, I would say come close to it, and especially the angle, which we have not talked about so apparently in the ad, is a 240-degree angle. So I think these are two very unique quality of this innovation from Jaquar, and is one of its kind in the market. So when we thought of promoting this, we said, okay, let's have a sweetener to this promotion by having a battery with it. Yeah, so I think the team did a great job. I think the social media team did a good job, and we got a nice film on hand. Now it's, as I say to the team and Tejasvi and all, now we have to make sure it reaches to the right audience, and it becomes a latest buzz in the town. So I think last week only we started. This
Correct,
week,
yes.
as this week we started. The great response has been great. The people are liking the film, but I'd like to hear it more from you when you guys conclude the campaign. That what was the feedback, how we reached, So yes, it's something interesting. We have never done a campaign on because see, lighting bathroom is very, very different. So bathroom campaign has a certain maturity, certain messaging. This is a light-hearted, fun film. And a nice and which is a practical happens, like I still remember born and brought up in small town, you are more concerned about not your light has gone, you're worried about somebody's light is coming. So as long if you're really perturbed that my light is not there but my neighbor's light is coming, so the whole and neighbors envy owners pride, so it's
the Onida factor.
Onida factor, So I think that probably was an idea which we built onto it. So how, and this character of Sharma ji and all has come out really nice. And I'm hoping that people will love this film because it's a simple, nice, fun film which leaves a smile. And though it's a promo film, but doesn't look like a promo film, because we don't want to really dilute the USP of the product, which is very, very unique Prima, which is not only much, but also the angle, and a lot of these small cities and all, and tinted even big cities, the bulbs, the table lamps is used for study. It's there on the top of dining area. So its spread has an equally important role to play. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Thanks for believing in us and giving us the opportunity to do this as well together.
Yeah, in fact, this is for the first time we took this chance to digital agency to drive our films, and I would say you did a good job. Yeah.
No, thanks for that, Sandeep.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Sandeep, one last question which Sunil had about influencer marketing. We know the brand is signed up with a lot of big brand ambassadors, but what is the role or the potential of influencer marketing that you see in this segment, whether it's lighting or sanitary ware sector?
See, we also, in fact, we will eventually get into this space. We are already in talks with Social Beat and a couple of agencies which we work with. I think we need to bring honesty in influencer campaign. Now, today people are smart. If you have an influencer, it doesn't. If it looks like I'm doing is like an advertising, people are smart now. So I think the influencer has to be very true that person is using my product. In fact, I was telling my team, why don't we give influencers as showers? Let them use my product, and then they come out and say that how good it is. Otherwise, it's again it's being too smart in advertising. So if you really want influencer marketing to really go to the next level and people start believing in and this is good for influencers as well because they have a reputation to guard. So if you are advertising and you don't believe in, you are not the user of the product. So my thumb rule is that obviously you have to see all the basics, that the alignment with the person, with your category, in terms of his reach, the kind of people who follow. These are hygienes. But the core is that the person who's making a comment on my product should experience my product first. And if he's doing that, then everything looks genuine and people believe it. And this is where we always believed in Jaquar's success. We kept things very simple. If you are honest to your work, if you're very open and clear about things, people will eventually come. When you try to just over smart, because if for a celebrity, a A-lister is using a certain which car, do you really believe that this guy drives that car? If, for example, a Shah Rukh Khan is driving some car, you think actually he drives that car? No, people are smart now. That era of 60s and 70s where you don't know what is dubbing is hero is singing or somebody else is singing is over. Everybody knows everything about media. So I'm sure that we should give full due respect to our customers. They know who's the influencer, who is actually the real believer of the product. And if this honesty, genuineness is there, then I think influencer is definitely an activity which can really give you a very targeted result. You can reach out to your audience, very specific audience, in much faster way. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, Sandeep, it's been great having you. Would you like to share any closing thoughts to all the marketers and brands out there on how they should leverage digital in the next few months and years?
It's very difficult for me to tell anybody for that matter, because I'm also on a learning curve when it's come to digital. But definitely what I would say that embrace it. Even if you sound stupid, ask questions, stupid questions, whatever it is, ask and more you get involved with the technology, but don't get carried away with technology, because eventually you are in a business of communication. What is the idea? What is the real message? Somehow I think the over focus on technology, over focus on the tools, you take away the basic essence of the communication advertising. Because if your communication is not interesting, if it's matter of fact, why should I watch you? Why should I give you my 2 minutes or 3 minutes for that matter? So I think marketers, I would say, as I always keep it for myself also, keep things around customers. Who's your customer, and revolve around that. Digital is there. Tomorrow some new technology will come in, intervention will come in. But as far as digital, I think, and also very important that you need to have in-house team which is capable to receive and collaborate. You can't completely outsource. You need to have a kind of a core team within the company for the brands, that you can have a constant communication, because you cannot communicate on digital on a monthly basis. It has to be daily basis. It's like what you did daily should really come out. So these are the two areas which I think could be interesting to ponder. points to
No, absolutely. Thanks for that, Sandeep. And I think it's been great working with your team. And I think you've built a strong team over time, which understands digital and collaborates with the agency. So it's been great working together. Thanks so much for joining us today and spending time and sharing your insights, Sandeep.
Thank you
so much, Sandeep. It was a really interesting session. Thank you for everything that you've shared with us.
Yeah, thank you, Radha. Thank you, Sunil, and thank you for the entire social media team for having me here. Yeah.
No, thanks, Sandeep. I think really nice to have you. And usually very difficult to catch you. Otherwise, thanks to the virtual world, now it's you can get some time in your calendar. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a great evening, Sandeep. Thank you. Over to you, Sunil and Dhruhi. I think we do have a break now. Dhruhi, over to you.
Yes, so we're just going to have a quick 1 hour break and we'll be back at 7 o'clock with Mr. Kalpak Chachir, the co-founder of Shop 101 for our next session.